exciting, but I'd like to be the first to welcome you to our historic campus. The W is a short term for the Mississippi University for Women. Mississippi University for Women was the first state-supported institution for women in this country, founded in 1884. We're very proud. I'd also be very excited to welcome you to our beautiful music building, the historic Poindexter Hall, which was built in 1905, and it's named after the founder of our music department, Winona Poindexter. So I hope you enjoy this building because it is gorgeous and wonderful to perform in. So I want to begin with a bit of a reflection. I was recently reading Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. And of course that book is about women in fiction and women writers, and in that book she tries to answer why there are so few that we know of, and she goes to the library and does some research and finds books about that may explain this phenomena. But at one point in the book, she says, well, it's difficult for women writers. We know of some women writers, but it's harder for painters and for musicians. And so as she's exploring all these books, she picks up one about music. And this book is written in, as she says, this year of grace, 1928, of women who write music. And in this book, by an author that shall remain nameless, as many women who are composers, this guy. He writes, "Sir, a woman's composing is like a dog's walking on its hind legs. It is not done well, but you are surprised to find it done at all." So I'm just going to leave that there. 1928. But we are in 2026, and surely things have changed. And because this festival is in its 10th year, I wonder, have we done enough? Are we where we need to be? Can we stop having this festival? And as I ponder these thoughts, I look at concert programs, and I don't mean orchestral programs or opera companies staging operas, because of course there's very, very few women there, in the single digits. But I just mean if you go to a regular conference and you go to a concert of music in general, or new music, or if you go to new music organizations concert, or just a composer's concert, or really any concert, and you look at the program, how many women do you see in the composer line? And unfortunately, the answer is not very many. And when I say that, I mean when I see somebody in that line, I'm so excited, yay! Still. And so then that makes me wonder, why is that? And so for professional music organizations, let's just take something that we're all very familiar with, and I'm not going to name them, but whichever one you are a part of, if you think about that. In the composers' concerts, few women. Why is that? And some of my colleagues said, well, maybe it's because women don't apply. Well, we know that's not true. I know that's not true, because I know women composers who apply, and they don't get it. But even if, say, we just let that assumption stand, I guess the bigger question is, why don't they apply, right? Why is that? Because, as the director of this festival, there's a lot of women who apply to this festival. So why do they apply here and they don't apply to other conferences? I mean, it's something to ponder. And you may think, well, maybe they apply and get rejected. There are people who get rejected sometimes and still apply to this festival. I don't know. I mean, I just think that's a very interesting thing, and I think that's something that we need to address. Because it is a strange phenomenon. I also talk to people who organize these other conferences, and they say, well, I have such a hard time finding performers for new works. And of course, I'm sitting there smiling internally going, oh, you don't have that problem at this festival, because whenever I send out works to performers who volunteer their time. It's an amazing group of people from all around the country, all around the world, really. These works get snagged. I mean, I send the email, and half an hour later, I want to sing that piece, I want to play this piece, I want to do this, I want to do that. We have to rank them because there's so much interest in every single work. So once again, why is that? Right? Why does that happen here and not somewhere else? And I also recently went to a professional conference, and there was a performers concert where performers submit works. And I was so excited because all the works were by women composers. So I'm sitting there backstage, you know, excited, this is great. And then I looked at who the performers were and what the works were, and I realized these are submissions that were either in last year's festival or in this year's festival. So they're works that have been submitted here. So I think one of the things that we are doing here is we are encouraging people to perform more works by women composers, and that work is being spread to their other professional activities. I always say this festival is a catalyst, right? So whatever people hear here or perform here, they take it to their own communities, they take it to their own professional organizations, and the work spreads. So I guess all of that to say is I don't think our work is done. I know it's been 10 years, but who knows, maybe we need 10 more years to make this happen. Because, you know, next time I go to a concert and I see women composers on the program, I don't want to be super excited. I just want to think that that's normal, you know. But we're not there yet. We're not there. So we're going to keep on doing it, I guess, until that is done. But speaking of the catalyst idea, I hope you use this time to meet everyone, to share your contact information. If you hear works by a composer who you like, please, you know, search the works out for your instruments. If it's a composer who is amongst us, please connect with them, maybe ask them to write something for your instrument. If you are a composer, don't be shy, approach a performer who you may want to perform your works. Because this is the kind of thing that happens every year. We have so many stories of people who hear something last year and come back this year performing the work on their own instrument. And then they take that composer and really become an advocate for her. So I think that's really special, and I guess that's the goal. You know, we are kind of a movement. I always say we're a movement. We're not a festival, we're a movement, because we're trying to really change the world of classical music on the stage, in our professional organizations, on selection panels, you know, who sits on those panels, who selects those composers. Those are all questions that I'm just going to leave there. But we're doing the work, and we're going to continue doing the work until it is done. There are a lot of people to thank in making this huge event happen every year. So if you notice, there's a lot of student volunteers around. These are all W music majors. So please thank them if you have a chance. They do a great job. All the stage crew is completely run by students. So they are really incredible. The W staff and the faculty and everybody else, I could not do this without them. It is a very large event run by a very small, dedicated group of people. I would also like to thank our community partners. So for example, these gift bags of the Columbus Visitors Bureau, and they have guides for dining and things to do in Columbus. So if you're looking for restaurant recommendations, they are in there. And I'd also like to point out that if you're looking for lunch places, we're literally a 10-minute walk from downtown Columbus. So if you walk out the front doors and you go left on College Street, you're going to eventually hit our downtown. And it has, you know, restaurants and our Arts Council, which has a art gallery, which is beautiful. The Tennessee Williams Home, which is the visitors center. Tennessee Williams is from Columbus. He was born in Columbus. His house is downtown. You can go see it. There's a bookstore. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do downtown Columbus that is a short walk from here, and I encourage you to do that. Thank you to the Visitors Bureau. Also like to thank Fairfield Inn. Hopefully you're having a good time staying there. We have other partners. Tonight we have a reception after the 5 o'clock concert, and at that reception we're going to feature the talents of our W Culinary Arts Institute beginning cake class. We're making our 10-year cake. There's going to be cupcakes, there are going to be cake pops, and they actually make vegan cupcakes for us as well. So it's going to be really good. So lots of people who really help make this happen. Also like to thank the Mississippi Arts Commission, National Endowment for the Arts, for giving us our grant to make this festival happen. And I guess to one big group of people are all the volunteer performers, who, as I said, always come here and perform new works that they pick in the blind submission process, and they have no idea whose book they're performing. So maybe we can give a huge round of applause to all those people, because we could not do this without them. Room. So this building has 3 stories on this side, 4 stories on that side. It's only connected on the first and second level with this balcony. So if you're looking for practice rooms, they're all on this side. There's an elevator here, there's stairs here. There's second, third, and fourth floor. If you're looking for classroom 408, which has presentations, that is on this floor, on this level, on the 4th floor. If you're looking for classroom 211 and 307, they're on that side of the building. So you're not going to find classroom 307. If you go there, you're going to be looking for it for the rest of the festival, and you're going to find it. So 211 and 307 are this way, 408 is this way, practice rooms are this way. We do have signs in every elevator, so we try. But if you get lost, please ask somebody for help. And we are so excited to welcome you, and I think we're ready to hear some music.